Welcome to CircleCI Foundations. What is Docker layer caching? When using the Docker executor as the runtime for build jobs, you can leverage a feature called Docker layer caching to speed up your builds. Docker layer caching does exactly what it says it does. It caches the individual layers of any Docker images built during your CircleCI jobs. It then reuses unchanged image layers on the subsequent CircleCI runs instead of rebuilding the entire image every time, because the less your Docker files change from commit to commit, the faster your image building steps will run. Most importantly, Docker layer caching is only useful when creating your own Docker image with Docker build, Docker compose, or a similar Docker command. It doesn't decrease the time that all builds take to spin up the initial environment. Remember, it's specifically set up to reuse unchanged image layers within your Docker file. Docker layer caching can be used with both the machine executor and the remote Docker environment. To do this, we add the key Docker layer caching in our configuration file. It defaults to false, but that's because it may or may not be beneficial. So remember to set it to true if you need it. Let's look at another example. In this job, Docker layer caching is set to true on line 13, but nothing actually happens until we hit this run command. Docker layer caching depends on the image layers. So when we hit that run command is when Docker layer caching will start to explicitly cache layers to try to avoid rebuilding. These are the basics of Docker layer caching, but I encourage you to find out more by visiting our blog, our docs, and asking questions on our community forum. If there are ways that we can make concepts easier to understand and more accessible, we'd love to hear about it.